In management, we're really interested. Under what conditions do employees feel more likely, or when are they more likely to speak up? Because we know that's actually good for organizations. We know that learning happens when people feel comfortable sharing, speaking up, raising issues, and when there actually is less power and status dynamics that are preventing that type of open dialogue and open sharing. So power generally gets in the way of learning. That's something that we know.
One of the things I really love about both the tactical and the governance practice in Holacracy is there's just as much room for the whisper as there is for the roar. There's ample opportunity for each person in the circle to be heard in a protected space. That brings about new ideas that may not have surfaced in a traditional meeting.
Holacracy goes from what we're used to in most companies as a very undisciplined way of meeting and making decisions. We just kind of show up in the room and we talk, and anyone jumps in and talks at any time. There's simply a disciplined process that gives space for each person to have a voice and contribute without dominating the space and taking away anyone else's ability to contribute. And that can be a challenge at first to work with that kind of discipline, but ultimately the result of it is anyone, regardless of style or type or preferences, everyone has space to really use their voice and drive change and contribute.
Give people permission to surface tension, to surface things they realize, and then also have a structure that makes sure you don't let charisma or ego or people's hierarchical positions or conditionings stop that person from being able to get clarity and closure on their own agendas. That was a huge, huge step.
The referee I was just talking about in soccer, you can compare it to the facilitator in Holacracy. It's someone generally on the team that gets elected to play that role and who is trusted by his or her peers to play that role well.
The role of the facilitator is a lot like being a referee. There's a set of rules, everybody knows the rules, they're written down, and I'm just there to sort of lay down the boundaries of the rules. The nice thing about that is I don't have to feel like I'm actually stepping on someone's space, because when they're talking out of process, they're stepping on someone else's space.
No one has to worry about the loudest voice in the room accidentally controlling the meeting. It gives everyone a level playing field to do their best.
Just anecdotally, people who felt like they didn't speak up before, because of that structure in the meetings, feel much more open, feel like much more encouraged and allowed to share and to speak up and share their feelings about various issues.
I tend to be a little more introverted and kind of standoffish in group conversations, and so it'd be easier for me to kick back and just observe, which is fine for me, and sometimes that's natural and no problem, but oftentimes less contribution will be happening. So if I can just throw an agenda item up there and I know it's going to come to me, and I know the space is going to be held, the facilitator is going to be approaching me, I can say whatever I need to say. As big or small as of a topic I need to cover, I have that space. So it's nice to have that space held with that structure.
So in the governance process, there is actual space where you as an individual, you're asked to listen. It's just being there present. In the end, it boils down to you as a person, but it actually asks you consciously to consider the option of listening, which is a beautiful thing.
The rigor of how you structure that meeting, how you structure the conversations, how you structure the interactions with each other, immediately made a huge difference in terms of being able to relax a lot more that this process was a process to be trusted.